Greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of mobile computing. My name is Mohammad Rahmat Ali. In today's session, we're going to continue the part where we left about the wireless transmission. Before we jumping into the topic, let me revise what are the things that we have studied in the previous session. We studied about mobile communication, mobile hardware, mobile software, and what are the different transmissions by which mobile wireless communication happens. Now, in continuation of that part, we're going to continue with reference to the infrared transmission. Now, what is this infrared transmission? Infrared waves lies in between visible light spectrum and microwaves. It has a wavelength of 700 nanometers to 1 millimeter, and frequency ranges from 300 gigahertz to 430 terahertz. So this is the range and the spectrum of the infrared wave. Now, with reference to the second point, infrared waves is used for very short range communication purpose such as television and its remote. If at all, if you remember, in the olden Nokia phone, there used to be infrared transmission wherein you can transfer the files keeping your mobile phones very nearer to it. You can ask about this about to your elder brothers or your elder siblings who have done this. In previous mobile phones, this facility was there, infrared transmission like Bluetooth and all things. This also was one of the things. And with reference to the infrared transmission, we used to play games in a network. Now, moving forward, it says infrared travels in a straight line, hence it is directional by nature. Because of high frequency range, infrared cannot cross wall like obstacle. Like as it is short, what you call as a range one, and it does not have that much of value, so infrared cannot cross like a wall like obstacles in reference to the transmission. Now moving forward, with reference to the light transmission, highest most electromagnetic spectrum which can be used for data transmission is light or optical signalings. This is achieved by means of lasers. Like the major optic fiber that we are using for internet and all these things is been done with reference to the light transmission. As you all have seen with reference to computer networks and other subject which you have studied in your previous semester, there you have studied like how the transmission happens. Now continuing this, it says because of frequency light uses, it tends to travel strictly in a straight line. Hence the sender and receiver must be in straight line of sight. Because laser transmission is unidirectional at both ends, communication, the laser and the photodetector needs to be installed. Like what are the signal that you are getting, detectors need to be installed. Now further it says laser beam is generally 1 millimeter wide, hence it is a work of precision to align two far receptors each pointing to laser sources. Also, if at all if you observe when your internet person comes, if at all if any of the cable is been very tight been knocked, he opens it and make it very straight. Why? Because it's all due to this light transmission. Why? Because with reference to the fiber cable, the light transmits in a straight line. Now, moving forward, it says frequency allocated for mobile communications. VHF and UHF range for mobile radio allows for simple small antennas for car. Deterministic propagation of characteristics. It has less weather conditions, more reliable on connections. Now, with reference to SHF and higher for directed radio link satellite communication, small antennas with directed transmissions, large bandwidths are available for this particular communication. Now, the last one is with reference to the wireless LANs, which uses frequency in UHF and SHF spectrum. Some of the planned up to EHF limited due to the absorption by water and oxygen molecule, weather dependent fading signal losses caused by heavy rainfalls, etc. So these are the different frequencies allocated for the mobile communication. Now, these are the some more allocated frequencies with reference to ITUR holds for the different what you call as the ranges with reference to mobile phone, cordless mobile phones or cordless phones, and with reference to the wireless LANs. So these are the different frequencies with reference to the different devices. You can pause this video at this instance and you can have a reading of this. Now moving forward, it says the different types of signals that it has. The type 1 of signal is it is a physical representation of data which has a function of time and location, which prefers the signal parameters as parameter representing the value of data and classification representation as continuous time by discrete time, continuous value by discrete values. Now with reference to the analog signal, it says continuous times and with reference to the continuous values with reference to the analog. Now with reference to the digital signals, it says discrete time and discrete values. Now signal parameters of periodic signals is with reference to the period time period as t, frequency f is equal to 1 by t, amplitude as a, and shift keying as lambda been represented. Now moving forward, these are the representation of Fourier periodic signal, the different representations, and the formula is been stated over here. The left one is the ideal periodic signal, and the right one is the real composition based on the harmonics. Now then with reference to the signal 2, it says different representation of signals like amplitude, like which has amplitude domain, frequency spectrum which has frequency domain, phase state diagram which has amplitude as m, and phase in polar coordinates. Now what it does, it composite signal maps into frequency domain using Fourier transmission. And the next one it says is with reference to the digital signals needed, which is infinite frequency for perfect representation. And the next one it says is the modulation with a carrier frequency for transmission, which is analog signal, which represents the analog signals. Then the next one is with reference to the antennas. It represents with reference to the antennas. We have seen with reference to the different wireless communication. Now we are going to see about the antennas while receiving the what you call as the signals that is being generated across the places with reference to the wireless communication. Now what it says, antennas are used to radiate sorry, antennas are used to radiate and receive EM waves or electromagnetic waves energy. Now it says antenna links the energy between the ether and a device such as a transmission line, which are example as like coaxial cable and different means of communication between one place to another place. Now sorry. Now, moving forward, it says antenna consists of one or several radiating elements through which an electric current circulates. Now, what are the different types of antennas? The different types of antennas are omnidirectional, directional, phased array, adaptive, and optimal antenna. So, these are the different types of antennas that is being there. The next one it says is principal characteristics used to characterize an antenna are with reference to the radiation patterns, with reference to the directives, with reference to the gain of the antenna, and with reference to the efficiency of the antennas. Now we are going to see in detail about the different things. With reference to the isotropic antennas, what do you mean by this isotropic radiator, which equals radiation in all direction like three-dimensional, only a theoretical reference antenna, which means real antenna always have directive effective like vertical and horizontal ways. The next one indicates the radiation pattern, which is the measurement of radiation around an antenna. Okay, now with reference to all of these things, we are studying one after the another the different wireless communication mediums by which we can have a communication between the two ends wirelessly. Now with reference to the omnidirectional antennas, which is simple or dipole. Real antennas are not isotropic radiator, but example dipole with length and hesitant dipoles or two dipoles. Shape and size of antenna propagation to wavelength. So this is being represented with reference to the antennas with reference to the things. Example, radiation pattern of simple hesitant dipole. So these are the different example with reference to it. Now what is the gain? Ratio of maximum power in the direction of the main lobe to the power of an isotropic radiation with the same average power. So this is with reference to the omnidirectional antennas. Now with reference to the directional antennas often used for microwave connections, directed points to point transmission or base station for mobile phones. Example, radio coverage of a value or a sector of frequency reuse. So these are the different types of the directed antennas and sectorized antennas. Now, next one is with reference to the array antennas. Grouping of two or more antennas to obtain radiating characteristics that cannot be obtained from a single element. Okay. Further, it says antenna diversity, which includes switch diversity, selection diversity, which means which receivers or receiver chooses antenna with the largest output. Now, with reference to the diversity combining indicates combined output power to produce gain, co-phasing needed to avoid cancellation. So this is with reference to the array antennas. Now the next one is with reference to the signal propagation ranges, the different signal propagation ranges. The first one is with reference to the transmission range, which includes communication possible and low error rate, which has the different communication possible with the low error rate. The next one is with reference to the detection range, with reference to the detection range, which says detection of signal possible and no communication possible or high error rates, with reference to the detection of signals. Now the next one is with reference to the interference range, which is signal may not be detected or signal adds to the background noise, like the information that is coming, it adds some of the noise at the background. Now with reference to the signal propagation, radio wave propagation is affected by the following mechanism, which indicates the reflection of large at reflection at large obstacles, scattering at small objects, or diffraction at edges. Like this you can observe with reference to your car. When you are traveling somewhat, like there will be a noise in your radio station if at all if you open the radio at your car. At some time where there are a lot of buildings, the signal might not be very much strong. Or some of the places where the signal will be good, but there will be a lot of noise. So the different mechanism that it follows. Next one is with reference to the signal propagation, which says the signal is also subjected to degradation result from propagation in the mobile radio environment. The principal phenomena are the path losses due to the distance covered by radio signals, which includes frequency dependent and less at low frequencies. The next one it says is fading, with reference to the frequency dependent related to multipath propagation, and with reference to the shadowing induced by obstacles in the path between the transmitter and the receiver. So this is with reference to the signal propagation. Now the next one is with reference to the signal propagation is inference from other sources and noise will also impact signal behavior, which means co-channel like mobile users in adjacent cell using same frequency and adjacent mobile user using same frequency adjacent to transmission reception frequency channel interface. Now further it says ambient noise from radio transmitter component and other electronic devices. Further, the next point it says propagation characteristics differ with the environment, although and over which radio wave travel, which indicates several type of environment can be identified, which is dense urban, urban, suburban or rural places, and are classified according to the following parameters. The first one is with reference to terrain morphology, vegetation density, buildings density and heights, open areas and water surfaces wherein the signals can be reached, and the quality of signal where it is reaching is dependent on all of these things. For an example, you have been into a forest, the signal might be good or somewhat good. If at all if you have been into any of the remote places, the chances of signal depends on the height and altitude where you are. If at all if you are very at high altitude, the possibility of getting the signal will be very less. So I hope you understood something from today's session. If at all if you have any doubt, you can ping me at rahmat_ali2u@yahoo.com, or if at all if you have anything to ask, we can have a common day in which we can discuss all of things. I hope you understood something in today's session. Thank you for listening. See you in the next class.